On this Hey Cuz podcast episode, we chatted up with rapper Antonio Kno-Face Burns as he shares with me how he found redemption and stepped into his purpose. Now, a self-produced artist with his 2023 album, Kno-Face talks to me about how he shares his story through his powerful lyrics and testimony-driven music. Antonio, from the LA BET Showcase to Super Bowl 2024 in Vegas and a Rolling Stone America's Hitmaker nomination, Kno-Face is on a mission to spread hope, love, and the message of God's grace through every beat. Family, please welcome Antonio Kno-Face Burns. Welcome back to the Hey Cuz with me, Olivia J, your favorite Cuz cast where you're either a real cousin or a play cousin. And on today, we have I'm not going to say until the end of the show, cousin, and he goes by the name of Antonio Burns, better known as Kno-Face. That's with Kno-Face, God's disciple. What's up? What's up, Antonio?
What's going on, cuz?
Hey,
What's up, cuz?
I know, Cuzzo works for me too. How you been?
Yeah. I'm
How you
good.
been?
I'm good. Blessed and highly favored. What can I say?
Okay, and how your mama been?
Oh man, she is great. She's great. She loving it down here in North Carolina. You know, she just moved from Texas to here, so she
Okay.
finally retired from Texas hospital down that way. So now she living her best life down here.
Hey, live the best life, still in the warm climate. Stay in the
Right,
warm states.
most definitely, yes.
Well, I want to just welcome you to the podcast. And of course, we've
Thank
told you a
you.
little bit about Antonio. I have another cousin named
Yes.
Antonio, but we call him Tonio. So
Oh man.
for your artist, you are an artist. And let me tell you,
Yes.
I play his music on the Out of Bondage Music Radio show. He's got
Mhm.
another release that's coming out, but he has a current single
Yes.
that we've been playing. And man, I tell you, that thing is fire.
Yes.
I like it. But
Thank you.
just tell us what
Thank
you
you.
have going
Thank you.
on.
Thank you.
What was the moment that made you realize that you needed to walk away from the streets? And what
It
was that?
was
When you say that you were, when we say that you were in the streets, because you told me, you gave me a little bit about
yes.
your journey, and I want to share with our viewers what led you. At what age were you pulled in that direction?
I think it was around the age I want to say what 30, about 38, 38, 37. You know, God been dealing with me all of my life, you know. I was raised up in church anyway, but like I said, the streets caught my attention, you know, it strayed me away from church and everything. So just dealing with gangsters. You know, I deal with a lot of gangsters, you know, in my lifetime. Gangsters
Mhm,
and drug dealers. That's all I was hanging around with, you know, growing
mhm.
up.
Okay.
So it stuck with me all of my life and everything. But I still kept my faith in God. I stayed praying and everything. But you know, I still was back and forth, straddling the fence, with the old folks say, straddling the fence. That's all I was doing half of my life. Then until that one night, I just got sick and tired of everything. Which you can hear in my song. I got a song called Smile. You hear some of the
Yeah.
testimony. Um, I was look myself in the mirror and I just got tired of. I said, God, I'm just going around in circles and circles. I'm not going nowhere in my lifetime. I'm too old to be doing this. You know, I want to try something. I want to feel something and try something that I never did in my lifetime. You know, something different.
You,
It's gonna make a change. You know.
yeah.
So most definitely.
You got
Gave
tired of being that
everything
old.
up.
You got tired of being that. You saw you was about to be that old dude in the club.
Yeah. I ain't want to be that man.
Like, Shawty, what's your name? What's your sign?
Oh yeah,
Where you
most
park? Where
definitely.
you park? I need a
Yeah.
ride. I'm just kidding.
I want to be one of them with the gold teeth, you know.
No, look, shout out to everybody with a
Yeah,
goal. And shout out to
right.
everyone with a goal. No, nothing against that. Nothing against that at all.
Yeah.
But you are a talented poet. And I
Yes,
say
thank you.
poet because
Yes.
rap is rhythm and poetry. That's what it
Right,
means for
right.
those who don't know. And myself being
Yes.
a musician, producer, and an artist, we vibe in that spot. And I love inspirational rap. And
Thank you.
I also like classical music and
Oh,
bluegrass.
yes,
Apple
most
does not know
definitely.
what to do. iTunes does not know what to do with my playlist because I'm all over the
Oh
place. I
man.
may be listening to a concerto one day and then turn
Yeah,
around and listen to
yeah,
like Lecrae. I mean,
right.
it's just like
Yeah.
all over the space. And and then there's 80s pop music too.
Oh yeah,
But
most definitely now.
listening to is especially Smile. I did like your single Smile. I liked
Yes,
it quite a bit. But
yes,
when you were you in a place where you were using your talent in the streets or in that space, and then you kind of felt like, oh, I need to take this back to, like you say, you grew up in
yeah,
church. So at
yes.
some point, did you decide, was there, what was the pivotal moment? Like,
Oh,
I'll tell you what it, this is not about me, but let's just say
right,
I was in
right.
a nightclub and I heard Stomp by Kirk Franklin. I said, I
Yeah,
can't mix these two together. I'm
right,
going back.
right.
What was your
Oh
moment?
man.
I was like, are we in the club? Like, hey, please. I'm like, what?
Oh man. I was just
That was perplexing for me. So I was like, you know what? I'm out.
right. So I always had my own studio and everything, and I was just scanning through on YouTube, listening to some music. I'm like, man, I'm getting tired of hearing this same old gangster music and all that.
Mm,
Then and all of a sudden, Brian T from Kingdom Music down there in Texas.
okay.
My first gospel rapper I ever heard rapping. Before I even know anything about Lecrae, it was Brian T for me.
Okay.
I heard him got the rapping and stuff. He used to be in the gang and all this drug dealing. I'm like, man, this is me. I'm like, wow. I'm like, okay, God, what you trying to tell me? What you trying to show me?
Hmm.
Then the girl that at that time that I was dating and everything, she said, yeah, you talk about God all the time anyway. When you get high and drunk and all that, you still talk about God. She
Not
like,
when you
why
get
not
high and
try it?
drunk.
Yes, I was I was one of them
It
types,
pulls it
man.
right on out of you.
It never fails, never fails.
Oh
Man, I ran so
gosh.
many people away. I ran a lot of people away back then.
I have a story that I will share with you when we are not on this podcast.
Yeah, yeah.
It's funny. It's funny.
Yo,
But
yo,
I should be shamed, but it was a glorious moment. Let's just say
yo.
that. But so I identify with that much. But
Yeah.
so there wasn't anything like, the stars aligned and all of that, and
Oh
you just
no.
had it, you felt it right here. It was like, you
Felt
know
it right
what,
there.
kind of
Yes,
like me and the
yes.
Kirk Franklin in the club. Is like, I'm out.
Right. Yeah, yeah. That's where it
Okay.
was. So I'm like,
Okay.
man.
All right. So how has your music changed since you embraced your faith? Like,
Oh.
did the style change, or did you bring, people like to say, well, I have this first cousin,
Hmm.
his and I don't want to name him, but he's in Georgia, right outside of Atlanta. In case he watching, his name starts with an A. He know exactly who he is. Let's just say
Okay.
A. When I
Yeah.
first introduced him to some of the music that I play on the radio show,
Yes.
he was like, "What?" That, and then he goes to work and he starts sharing it with some of his coworkers, and then they start
Right.
having this debate. And this debate was, gospel artists are trying to be like
Right.
secular music, and like that was whether it was right or wrong, and it was like, it's
Right.
really about a lifestyle, period.
Yeah, most definitely.
And
Yeah.
I always say, as a keyboard player, I always say the C note is not good. It's not a good or either evil.
Right.
It's the
Right.
C note. It's what you
Yes.
decide to do with the C note.
Right. Right.
Same C, A, B, C, D, chords. And
Yes.
so so tell me, what was that pivotal moment? Like, how has it changed? How has your music changed? Did the sound come from a place to a place, or
Hmm.
did you, because of the place you arrived to, did your sound change? I mean, of course there was a change
Yes, most
in you,
definitely. Yes.
obviously, but was there a change in
Yes.
your sound in terms of the style?
Yes, it's a humble style, a more realistic style that came out of me. It came
Mhm.
out of nowhere. I'm like, man, what come I couldn't do this when I was in the world? And then
Wow. So you were flowing like,
yeah,
yeah,
yes,
I feel
it's
that
a true story.
completely.
I always wanted to be a well, this right here, doing gospel rap is just like my testimony. It is my
Hmm.
past life. That's my goal, is to tell my testimony, things I've been through, that I want others, if I'm able to help others not to go through that situation, like being a gangster, running the streets, drug dealing. Just it's better ways. It's not the way to do it. So if I can help that next person, especially a younger generation, help them with that, that's all I want to do. Thank that seed.
Your
Plant the seed.
and that's powerful what you said. And speaking of powerful, your album Break the Chains, it carries a
Yes.
powerful message. What does the phrase mean to you personally? Because we know that there
Man,
was a popular song done by not Hillsong. I can't remember who did Break Every Chain. And then Tasha
yes.
Cobbs did a version
Right,
of their
right,
song. And then when she did it, everybody was like, why are they singing her song? I was
right.
like, that's their song. She redid it. You know how we do. We take
Oh,
over a song and we
right.
just make it.
Yeah, yeah, most definitely.
So
Oh man.
immediately when I saw Break the Chains, I was like, oh
Yes.
boy. Because they played that song off the I was like, if they don't play that song no more, I'm
Yeah.
good. Same thing was back in the day with My by
Yeah, that was Gills, ain't it?
yeah, Johnny Gill. I was like, I'm
Thank
done.
you.
Every time you turn on the radio, it was
Right,
My. And I was like, oh my
right, right.
gosh, back in the day. So those were two songs that maybe not Break Every Chain. I still like that song, but
Right, right.
that Johnny Gill, I almost didn't want to see him no more.
Right.
But tell me, what does that
Oh man.
personally mean to you?
Me personally, it meant I finally broke free from the chains that were holding me down.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I was trying to at the beginning part of my life, well, at the beginning part of us changing over to God's way and everything, and I was still straddling that fence a little bit. It kept on constantly going back and forth until up to that one day in February of 2021. I joined this magnificent church called the Family Worship Center of Shabbat in Jacksonville, North Carolina. Oh my God, my bishop,
Mm.
my father, Dr. Keith Carey. Oh my God,
Not you
oh
repping.
my God. Oh yeah.
You better rep your church. Go ahead on.
Yes, yes. He spoke a message that touched my heart, and it just helped me. He like you can't just certain things you just can't give up just like that. It takes time. It's a
Mm-hmm,
process
mm-hmm,
with
mm-hmm,
it's a
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
process with everything that you go through. So I had to learn that because I was been one of the types that want things done just like
Yeah,
that. But
yeah.
with God, it's a process with every step that you take, and I love it. I'm
That's
looking at
that
break.
that's a good message. I heard that same message. I was 13
Yes.
when it happened to me. And I was
Mhm.
like, I want to go to the skating rink. Something
Yeah.
wrong with me. And my pastor at the time was like, go to the skating rink. Do you?
Right, right,
Because
right,
there has
right.
been a change in your heart.
Yes,
Eventually, these things will leave you.
yes, most
Eventually,
definitely.
you won't desire this, that, and the third. And it's
Yes,
like, huh? And how long
yes.
is eventually?
Right, right,
Sometimes
most
we want things
definitely.
to happen right now. I'm a
Right
right
then
now
and
kind
there.
of a person too, but
Right.
some things we have to just sort of let stew, just like a good meal. You can't just that's why I don't
Yes.
bake because I like to throw everything together. They tell you, well, take this out and let this much oxidize and then put the flour over here. It's like, nah, it's all going in the same
Right.
spot. It's gonna come out the same way, and it never does. So,
Right, right, most
because
definitely.
there's a process. And so how is your music like? How does your music impact its listeners? Are you connected to your listeners? Have you gotten what kind of responses are you getting back from people? Because sometimes you don't know what your impact is when you
Hmm.
just throw things out there in the wind. You don't know if
Right.
somebody's standing nearby and it's like, did you just throw out a cup of water? And
Right,
I'm
right.
over here. um, I mean, that's a comical approach to it, but
Right,
I
right.
would like to think that every time we do something that
Yes.
what they say, for every action there's an equal reaction, or I don't
Right.
quote me on that, but
Yeah.
what are you hearing from your listeners?
um, I can tell you an example of when BT had like a little showcase for local artists up in California.
Mhm.
I think it was 2 years ago. I was able to attend to. I was the only gospel artist in there rapping about God and my testimony. The only one. I didn't get no response but from one dude.
Mm-hmm.
One man.
Mm-hmm.
He stood up. He said, "Man, what did he say?" He just said, "You just started screaming for no reason." He like, "Yeah, yeah." Then walked out and came back in, almost done with my song and everything. Came back in. He said, "That was for me. I needed to hear that. Make the Devil's Mad with the song that I did. It's called Make the Devil's Mad." He said, "I needed to hear that." And he gave me applause. Then eventually everybody else applause and everything though. But I hope that my songs touch people's hearts and their minds. They might be going through the scenario that I've been through. And that's it. Touch people's hearts and their minds. You never know. You never
No,
know
you
who's listening.
you never know who's listening. Well, we are going
Right.
to share. We have a picture there up on the screen
Yes.
of Kno-Face with a
Oh yeah.
Kno, God's
Yes.
disciple, and there is also some information there on how you can connect with this artist. And
Yes.
I like the graphics work that you have done,
Thank you.
and I love, like I said, the music. And so you have a new single coming out as well. Tell us about that real quickly.
Yes, it's called Jonah. It's most definitely be dropping tomorrow. It be dropping March the 17th, St. Patrick's Day. Oh my God,
Okay.
I'm so excited. It's me and Elder Golden, my boy Golden, man. He blessed the track with me with amazing voice. It's another testimony. We call it Jonah because a lot of us we run from a lot of things in our life, you know, especially with God. We constantly running from God. So it's that time, to stop running, So that was my song is about Jonah. Me, I was running. When I was in the world, kept on running. I didn't want no part of church. I ain't want none of that.
Yeah,
I was
yeah, yeah.
loving the evil part of the life, but God changed all of it, took all that away from me. So I had to put it in a track for everybody. So it's called Jonah. Most definitely be dropping March the 17th. Make sure you keep a lookout for it.
All right. All right. Well, I just want to thank you so much for coming on the Hey Cuz podcast. And we're going to have we're going to post your link in the description of the video
Yes.
here if you want to connect with Kno-Face, Antonio
Oh
Burns,
yeah.
God's disciple, and the
Yes.
music that helps, encourage people and bring light into dark spaces. And so
Right.
I do want to reveal, though, we're going to reveal whether or not Antonio is my real cousin or my play cousin.
Yeah.
And the answer is, drum roll,
uh,
please. He is a play cousin.
yeah.
So, I love you
Oh
like a play
man.
cuz.
Oh yes, I love you too now, cuzzo.
Yeah, so with having said that, I want to thank you again for coming on, and as we
Yes, thank
always
you.
say, until next time,
Until next time.
bye cuz.
All right, cuz. What it do? It's your boy No-Face, God's disciple. I am in the building, originally from Jackson, Tennessee. Stand up. You are in tune with Hey Cuz podcast by Sylvia J.
Thank you for joining this episode of the Hey Cuz podcast with me, your host, Olivia J. I hope that you will like, subscribe, and share. Don't forget to post your comments. We'd love to hear from you.